and welcome to Roadmap 2019. I am Ladi Akiridoluale. Thanks for joining us. On this program, we interact with major stakeholders in Nigeria's politics and its journey to the 2019 elections. Today, my guest is the helmsman of one of the north-central states at the forefront of the herdsmen-farmers clashes, which has left many citizens dead. He says ranching is a viable solution, but that his state does not have land to give for ranches. My guest describes the efforts of security agents as commendable, but then says more needs to be done. Now, please join us as we speak to the governor of Benue State, Samuel Ortom. Governor Samuel Ortom, thank you very much for giving us your time on Roadmap 2019.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I need to start from the most current happenings, and then we'll now work our way back. You demanded an apology from the Defense Minister, General Dan Ali, over his comments on states that have enacted anti-grazing laws to withdraw them so that there can be peace in those areas. Why?
Yeah, I want public officers to differentiate their personal interests and the oath they took to protect the interests of Nigeria and Nigerians. I'm a public officer too. You see my trademark, the cap I have on is called a unity cap.
Indeed.
In Benue State, the black and white represent the Tiv Nation. The red and black represent the Idoma Nation. The blue, white, and black represent the Igede Nation. Those are the three major ethnic groups in Benue State. And then the green and white represents Nigeria. So I'm constantly reminded that I'm a governor of Benue State and I'm a Nigerian. So the oath I took, I must protect the interests of this country and the people that voted me in. So when a public officer makes that kind of careless statement, that a legitimate law, constitutionally and legally enacted, should be suspended. And that is the position of Miyetti, that I am holding them responsible for the killings, for the destruction, for the massacre, for all that has been happening in Benue State. I've held them responsible. I have reported them to security agencies, and as I speak to you today, because I have not seen the response from the security agencies, I have taken them to court. We are before a high court. And I'm holding them responsible. I have evidence against them that they are responsible for these killings, and I look forward that one day justice will be given to me and my people. And then you hear a minister of defense coming out of a security meeting and making that kind of statement. Then you begin to wonder. Somehow later, when Nigerians rose against him, a statement by one of his assistants said it was his personal opinion. But once you take an office, like I have today as governor, like you are sworn in as a minister, then you have become public property. You subject your personal feelings. You subject your personal opinion and allow what will guide you to give confidence to the entire country. So I think that at his level, he must have been conversant with the media since he made that statement. Editorials from the print media, from the electronic media, and so on, has been overwhelming, condemning his act and telling him that it is not right for public officers to do that. And I have also condemned that statement, and several other organizations and individuals have come out to condemn that. And I think following from that, other public officers should learn how to conduct themselves. It is not right, because I'm part of this government, the APC government led by President Muhammadu Buhari, and like I keep saying, they are supposed to be representing the president. But when they make this kind of impression being created, I think it casting bad light on our own government, and it is not right, and it's not proper. And I hope that the best thing that can calm down nerves is for him to come out and apologize to Nigerians that he is sorry about this. I think that will solve a lot of problems. I think that those people who are alluding that this crisis has been escalated because of the law are mischief makers. Mischief makers in the sense that this law was enacted out of desperation to bring peace for farmers and herdsmen. It is a win-win law for farmers and herdsmen. And when we started the implementation, it was smooth, going on well, until these people who think that they are sacred cows, they have immunity over this country, they can commit crimes, and no one will question them. Miyetti and Hore leadership came out with this attack. Otherwise, everything was moving on smoothly. Because we said, you want to ranch, we are ready to assist you provide land so that you can do your cattle business. If you want to do open grazing, we're ready to provide security for you to guide your cattle to go to wherever you find land to do open grazing. We're not against this. But come to think of it, how many states have enacted this law? Taraba State.
And Ekiti.
Ekiti. And of recent, Abia. But when you talk about crises that are going on and the killings and the destruction and stealing that is going on in Nigeria today, do you remember Adamawa? Is there any law in Adamawa?
No.
Is there any law in Kaduna State? Is there any law in Plateau State? Is there any law in Edo State? Is there any law in Delta State? Is there any law in Zamfara State where killings are going on far more than what is even happening in Benue, put together with the other states? Is there any law in these places? So you can see that it is clearly out of mischief. It is wrong for anybody to say that enacting a law have aggravated crisis in any place. I am aware that during Obasanjo's time, a law on Sharia was enacted by Zamfara state government. And I'm aware that those people that could not cope with the provisions of the law, for instance, like those who were addicted to alcohol, they had to relocate. Those who were earning a living by alcohol business had to relocate to other parts of the country where the law did not forbid them. And those who were prostitutes, they also had to relocate. And I'm aware that other states in the north bought into this law and enacted in their various states. Nobody stood up to challenge them. I didn't come from Benue State, or anybody from Benue State stood up to challenge Zamfara or anyone. We have people in Zamfara. We have people in these states that have enacted this Sharia law. And it is their constitutional right, provided that they follow due process and the needful is done. Public hearings are held. It passes through the House of Assembly, the governor, and then gets back to the governor to sign. It is everybody's right to do that. Since I came in, we have enacted over 15 laws for the land. It's for the good governance, and that is what the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria provides. So anyone alluding that this law is responsible for this crisis is just doing that out of mere mischief or completely out of ignorance.
Now, let me ask you, because some of the critics of the law and the subsequent crisis that emanated from it point out that in defense of the law. You set up a militia to enforce the law, which was not one of the approved security agencies, and that militia in itself committed some atrocities. And that what subsequently happened was that the herdsmen were retaliating for the earlier attacks on their own. How do you respond to this?
You know, these are just gimmicks and mischief to try to change the narrative. How can I do that? I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm a born-again Christian. And I respect God and humanity. And if you look at my antecedents, the first thing I did when I came in as governor was to initiate an amnesty program, because killings, kidnappings, armed robbery, and several other criminal activities were the rule of the day. In fact, you cannot build a house without settling some criminal elements. When I came in and I looked at this, I invited the people and told them that, look, we cannot continue like this. If you do this, my plan for the state to industrialize the state, to bring in investors, will not be realized, because no one will come with his money to invest in Benue State when he knows that his investment is not safe and himself or herself is not safe. So I did an amnesty program which was recognized by UN